Hello everyone, this is Shade of Dark Little Voices. I'm not really feeling too well, but I still wanted to make this video. It was inspired by Beaky, aka As Told by Beaky. His goal essentially is the same as my goal, which is to spread the fact that we need to talk more about mental health, especially here in the US. Because of the fact that people tend to not want to talk about what they have stored inside them until it's too late. And I am definitely an example of that for sure. However, my goal is, while similar, really to aim more towards the fact that I want people to understand that there are people out there that you can reach out to. And no, I'm not talking about just these suicide hotlines. I know I'm not one to talk about mental health like a professional could, but I still want to try to do my part regardless, because you guys, our fans, are amazing people, and I don't know your story. I would love to hear it sometime. But I understand what it's like to go day to day without having really much of a voice to begin with. I understand what it's like to feel alone and feeling like being alive is pointless. And I know that there are many other variations of mental health, but I think that's kind of the problem. There are so many variations of mental health that we don't seem to want to talk about, and I feel like it needs to be talked about. So Beaky has his video and I have this video, and I hope it reaches out to someone out there who needs to understand that you are not alone. You never were. There are still plenty of people out there who suffer, and they suffer in silence just as you do, because they feel what you feel, that there is no one to really talk to. There's no one you can really trust, I should say, as far as being able to open up, because the second you open your mouth, they'll tell you really stupid things that you don't need to hear right now, or ever, or really should ever have to hear. There is no reason you should have to hear just to suck it up or throw some dirt on it, or that the world has worse problems than you. That is ignorant, and you really need to stop, because you're not helping. You feel that you are because that's how you were raised as well. Believe me, I understand that completely. I was raised with the same stupid mentality, and that's what caused half of my problems in life. I understand it. When you are raised that way, you can't change your mind and open it to the possibilities of ways you can help your fellow man. But I'm here to tell you, as somebody who's also changed his mind on that particular way of thinking, that you can. It's just a matter of trying. I know it gets frustrating because you have your own set of problems, and you know that the world has worse problems than you do. Therefore, when somebody says that they have their issues to you, it sounds like, why are you trying to express an issue when there are so many others to solve in this world? And I don't know, maybe you may feel that it's selfish, but it's not. Because in the end, it's pretty much how the saying goes. Not one that I'm too familiar with how it actually goes, but here's how I interpret it, is that you can't help somebody if you can't even help yourself. You see what happens there is that if you can't help yourself, how are you supposed to help everyone else? You can't help the world's problems. So by that logic, it's what helped me to see how stupid I was being, and I hope it helps you as well. Because this isn't to attack anyone at all. This is to make it well aware that we all, not just some, not just a few, we all need to gradually change our way of thinking when it comes to mental health. We are raised with this idea that we need to bottle up because no one gives a fuck about your problems. That the world has worse problems, and that when you express your own problems, then all of a sudden you are a selfish human being because there are worse problems out there. You are not. And you also can't allow other people to make you feel that way, because that's how people like Robin Williams and various other people end up getting to the point where they can't take it anymore and they take their own lives. And in some ways, the worst of ways. I've lost friends because of this, and I don't want to continue to let this happen, which is why I agreed to help out Beaky's cause here. And he's a good friend of mine. So, if you have questions, comments, and concerns, leave it down below. I will do my best to share the playlist when it goes up. Other than that, I hope you do like the video, and I hope you do share it with other people so that we can get the word out that even in the horror community, mental health seems to be a huge problem, and it's only going to get worse the more we don't address it. It's basically the equivalent of having that one open wound that it's never going to heal if we don't even address the fact that we have the wound in the first place. We need to be able to address it, and then afterward we need to treat it the best that we can, because that's how gradually that wound will end up closing. And I'm not saying it's a perfect system. Chances are there'll always be suicides of multiple kinds for different reasons. But the fact of the matter is that I feel that it's way too high. And the only way to decrease the amount of suicide to the point where it's barely even a thing anymore is to address it. Alright, well, I hope no one took this offensively. This has been both my opinion and how I wish to help in this cause to try to improve mental health. I'm Shade of Dark Little Voices with barely a voice at the moment. Good night.